Hello there, Alex Szinegh here with the Szinegh team at Exp Real Estate. I'm going to give you 15 different techniques in order to be able to get your offer accepted. You're searching for a house, you hired a real estate agent, you want to ensure that you're going to get your offer accepted and you're not wasting your time. So, I'm going to give you some ideas here and then let's see which one you're going to utilize in order to help you to make sure your offer is accepted. Number one, um, the first thing to do is to make sure that you don't make a contingency sale. In other words, you're not making the offer conditional upon your house selling. There's a couple of ways to do that. Number one, you could sell your house first and you can go rent something. Or secondly, what you can do is negotiate a deal where you sell your house and then you can stay in your house and rent it back from the new purchaser either at a fee or for free. The last time I made a move, that's what we exactly did. We sold our house. The buyer wanted to really get the house, but they were not in a hurry to move in because they had another place. We said, okay, we're going to stay here for an extra 30 days at no charge. And that way it gives us time to go get the other house. So that's a way to do that. Number two, what you can do is become a cash buyer. Try not to do the financing if you can. You get pre-qualified. If you're absolutely sure you're going to get that money, you don't have to worry about it, that it's going to be a situation where it's a financing condition because, in this marketplace today, cash is king. And people will look at that and they will say, hey, if it's got two or three offers on it, they're going to go for the cash property first, even if it's a little bit less in price, but they know that for sure you're going to get the money. Number three, what you can do is remove your appraisal contingency or reduce it. A lot of times the appraisal contingency could be 20, 30 days, and you may want to get that reduced a little bit. You talk to your financing company and say, hey, or especially if you are buying at cash, like when we bought our property, I did the CMA, I did the analysis, I knew exactly what the property was worth, I knew what I was willing to pay, and I didn't need an appraisal contingency because I didn't want somebody else to appraise it because I wanted to make sure I can get that property for a proper price. The next one, remove or reduce your loan contingency. Again, become a cash buyer. Make sure that you change your loan contingency. You can shorten the time. Again, you can talk to your mortgage broker and see if they can help you out to make sure that it's going to be a lot easier for you to make that move. The next point is reduce the inspection contingencies. A lot of times people, on the offers, what it says, if that you don't check off the box, then it's 15 days for inspection. I sold properties and bought properties with zero inspection period. The last property we sold a condo. We negotiated with the buyer and we said, here's the deal. You saw it, walk through it again, take a closer look at it. If you want to get an appraisal, you can go ahead. If you want to get a home inspection, you're welcome to it and everything. However, if you just want to make it firm with no contingency for inspections, let's do it. And that's how we sold the property. And he got a good price and we got to move on with our plans. You could also, the next point is that you could do a rent back to the seller. And again, I've done these different deals where, I negotiated with the buyer, I negotiated with the seller. I said to the seller, okay, I'll rent you back the house. You can stay there. I give him 30 or 60 days to stay there for free, or we negotiate a price, maybe, a couple of $1,000s a month in order for them to stay there. And that makes it a lot easier for them to move on with their plans. Point number 7. Make sure you call the other agent and build rapport with that other agent. One of the worst things you can do, and make sure your agent doesn't do this, is to alienate or annoy or upset the other agent. Hey, the buyer wants to buy, the seller wants to sell. Us as realtors, our job is to put the two of them together. We're not there to judge. We're not there to, offer an opinion, unless obviously there is something problem with the property or any kind of appraisal issues or anything like that. But on the basically, make friends with the other agent. Don't alienate them. Don't make them mad or anything. Don't say stupid things. And I know I've done that myself before, where I said some stupid stuff and the other agent got upset. They told the seller, and then the seller said, I'm not selling to this guy. And the reason I'm not selling is I don't like him. No, you want the other agents to like you, and you want them to communicate that to the seller, so that they get to like you. And make sure that you know exactly what the seller is looking for. It's not always the highest price. Sometimes certain terms are better. The last property I sold, it wasn't about the price, it was about the terms. We made some terms on the property. It was much easier to negotiate everything. So that's item number 7. Number 8 is reduce the escrow timeline. Again, the seller wants to get their money quickly. You want to make sure you get the property at the right price. You get if there's multiple offers, that you're the one that's going to get this deal. So, shorten some of these times. Now, as I'm giving you these points, you're not going to utilize all these points. It could be 1 or 2 of these points you can utilize, but there's a lot of these tools here for you if you want to utilize them. Number 9, okay, submit the offer over list price. Now, when the market is hot, that's almost an absolute that you got to go in at list price or just above list price. Don't even try it. I've had that happen where buyers come to me and say, "Oh, let's make a really low ball offer." No, if they wanted to sell out lower, they would have dropped the price. The property's been on the market for 3 days. You're not going to get it for that price. So why don't we just put in an offer at list price or above? I just had a situation recently where the guy lost a property for $100. He wasn't willing to go any higher. And I've got some other techniques where I can ensure that maybe they can get that property. Number 10, this is the beauty. I love this one. Escalation clause. I've used this many times. So, for example, the property is $200,000. We make an offer at $200,000. And there's multiple other offers. So we'll put an escalation clause in there that says we're willing to go up to $220,000 at $1,000 or $2,000 increments, just in case another offer comes in. So another offer comes in at 205, let's say, we'll go to 207. Somebody comes at 209, we'll go to 211. So we to a maximum, obviously, because you don't want to just keep it open. So escalation clause is a really good way to ensure that nobody outbids you. Okay? I use that many, many times. I use that in my own purchases and my own sales. Okay. Another thing is, most offers are as is condition, but a lot of times what people do, they say, okay, I got an inspection clause. I got 10 days or 15 days or 7 days. What I'm going to do is get the inspection done. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back and nickel and dime and say, okay, I'm going to reduce the price because I found something wrong. But if you say to the seller, I'm going to take it as is, I'm not going to come back, I'm not going to ask for any reduction in price, I'm not going to ask anything for repairs or maintenance or anything like that, that could be a big bonus, in your case there. Okay, number 12, put in a non-refundable deposit. The last property I sold, and this is kind of really interesting, I'm originally from Canada, and in Canada, we usually take large deposits, and a lot of times they're non-refundable. So when I was selling my last property, the buyer really wanted to buy it, and we had 2 days to make a decision to buy the next property. So what we did, we said it's a non-refundable $50,000 deposit. You give me 50 grand, you can have this property, but if he's going to walk, then I'm going to keep his $50,000. And that's what it done for me and for my wife, is to be able to go out and purchase that property we really wanted and make it firm, because we did the same thing. We made it non-contingent purchase. We made it a cash deal. So we're able to get a good deal and everybody's winning. Okay. The next point number 14. Point number 13. You can offer to pay the seller's closing costs, some of it or all of it. And this is all negotiable. People say, well, there's certain closing costs I don't want to pay. I just sold a property where the people paid all of the closing costs. The buyer said, I'm going to pay all the closing costs. What do you want to net, Mr. Seller? Here's the net. I'm going to give you that net. So again, you can negotiate. These are all negotiation tools. The truth is, and the reality of real estate is, everything is negotiable. Okay. Next point, number 14. Okay. Look for properties when they come on the market. Sometimes they don't sell on the weekend. So Tuesday, Wednesday, middle of the week, you start looking and you see that property came on last week in the middle of the week. We had the weekend, because a lot of times buyers are out there looking for properties and they buy it on the weekend. So if it doesn't happen, I guess maybe that property is not as great and not as hot as people thought. So you can go in and negotiate a good price, because the agent and the seller is thinking to themselves, oh boy, maybe there's something wrong. Maybe I'm going to have to wait, especially if they purchased another property or they made commitments on something else. And number 15, okay, and this is a last resort. I do this all the time. Let's say I'm in a multiple offer situation. There's 3 or 4 offers on it. They're accepting another offer. So I say to the other agent, okay, can I do a backup offer? Can I be first in line? So what I do is I send him my offer, and it says on the offer, I put it right in the terms, that this offer is conditional upon them getting a release from a previous offer, and put a time limit on it. And that way, in case it falls apart, because a lot of times, if the other deal is a financing deal, I just had a couple of those happen to me. Hey, we put the backup offer on it. My buyer was able to get it because the other deal fell apart. I got a call from the agent. Hey, are you guys still there? I want to let you know that it fell apart. So these are just some points, some little tools in your tool belt, and you can inform your agent when they're negotiating on your behalf to see if they know any of these techniques. So if you know anybody that's looking to buy or sell real estate, you can text me, you can call me, you can send me an email. This is Alex Szinegh with the Szinegh Group at Exp Real Estate. My phone number is 702-334-5570. And my email is alexszinegh@gmail.com. Have yourself a fantastic day.